Guitar Friends, episode 40.
40!
We made it to 40.
You guys.
It's not yet 50, but we're making it to 40.
Oh my gosh.
And
I made it to 40.
It's a 40.
Hey, you're
and you know
40.
what?
I'm 40 now.
You're 40.
Hey, happy
And
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Well timed.
Maybe you're in your car.
I'm mowing your lawn.
Just
Turn it up. The Guitar Friends are on.
The greatest podcast about guitar is on.
Woo!
As long as you don't count all the ones that have big guests and are very intentional about
Big
actually
guests.
having a guitar.
Related conversation.
We have little guests.
Yeah.
Guitar Friends is on. This is Guitar
I
Friends.
think that's my favorite part. Dun, 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 dun. Clean.
Sooze and Jon.
That's my favorite.
Our names.
Yeah.
It's mostly about guitar, but
The
also
rhythm
some
is,
other
like,
stuff
perfect.
that we discuss too. But it's most about guitar, unless we get distracted and talk about food or Teslas, or how annoying it is that Californians keep moving everywhere and bring their terrible ideas and ruin their state to Nashville.
That's my second favorite part.
That'll preach.
The pause.
But no great guitar.
Yeah. It's
I really
high
want to hear
quality.
the rest of that song.
So there is a...
It's only 30 seconds or
Well,
whatever it is.
you can extend it, but it has to like rewrite. It keeps writing. And so it goes kind of a little weird. I've tried to extend it because I wrote the first couple of lyrics. So I think I got to write the rest of the
I
lyrics.
just want to hear like because it breaks into like a long what
Yeah,
I'm
like there's gonna be an
envisioning.
instrumental
There's
there.
a long instrumental.
Well,
that
what
went
I,
on for
solo.
5 more minutes. Yeah.
That's
what
what
I
I
think we
want.
should do is grab that track, bring it into like one of those tracks.io or stems.io, whatever
Yeah.
that site is that breaks it all up. And then we
Yeah.
could
Oh,
throw it
just
into
make it,
Logic.
yeah.
We could do a little intro, like boo, do 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 do. You know what I mean? Like put a
Yeah.
little thing, and then we could have a big instrumental, and we could have it. We could open the podcast. We could jam on the instrumental, and then it could like repeat a chorus, and we'd be able to do that in Logic pretty. You know what I
It's
mean?
actually a really solid idea.
Yeah. Because right now we have the finished thing, and
we
AI
could
will,
just put a group together and perform the song live
I
ourselves.
know, but who's gonna
Like
sing?
a live cut of our.
We're
like
gonna have the AI
brass,
sing it too.
Like, can we do
We would book a Nashville
Yes.
brass section.
We're gonna have the AI sit. That'd be perfect.
Yeah. It's gonna cost a lot.
Sounds
of
a
money,
little pricey.
but we're gonna do it.
I
for
think we could-
our 100th episode?
I think we could get away with
100.
doing it. Suze, how's that?
Okay.
Is that camera on? Or do we want to double check that we're actually rolling here? All right, good. You're rolling. Y'all are in shot here. Let me
9 minutes in.
let me adjust this.
Okay.
Episode 40. We really got everything dialed in by now. Guitar joke of the week.
Are you supposed to be blue on here?
My mic? Yeah, the mic's blue. That's where you want it. The
There you
mic.
go.
Yeah. There we go.
Episode 40.
I like to see myself. Then I
There
can
you
look at the
go.
camera.
Uh-huh.
How you doing?
Do you
Good
want me
looking?
to flip it around?
No, I got it. I'm
Is
looking at it. Yeah, it's flipped
okay.
around.
You like
yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
All right. Hang on. Let me flex while I do this, just so I can see. Guitar episode. No, guitar.
It wouldn't be the first episode that we've actually had weightlifting.
We did last
on-
week. We had some
on
weightlifting.
the episode.
I leave for 1 week.
I said that joke. I said John C. leaves for 1
And
week
it's
and
going
then,
off
look
the
around.
rails. You
I
guys
also-
are.
I just ordered a push-up board.
You guys are talking about guitar for a long time, apparently.
We were.
and then you're
It
doing.
was
It was a
in there.
strange episode. In
in
fact,
there.
we're going to talk about it. But before we do, I waited way too long on the last episode to get to the guitar jokes.
Okay, fair enough.
So this episode, let's be very intentional about bringing it up. And here we go. What's the difference between a fiddle and a violin?
How drunk you are when you're playing it. It's got to be that.
fiddle and a violin.
It's got to be alcohol related.
How country you are? How
Who cares? Neither one's a guitar. mommy, I want to mommy, I want to be a guitarist when I grow up. The mom replies, now Johnny, you know you can't do both.
I like that.
You know?
choose.
You can't.
Yeah.
I want to be a guitarist when I grow up.
Which one
Now
is
Johnny,
it?
you know,
Yeah.
you know you can't do
That's really good.
both. What's the difference between a guitar player and a bag of garbage? This one's really, it's getting serious.
Are they, yeah. They
You know?
This
getting
is going to
hurtful?
be very, very
Getting serious.
hurtful to guitar players. Something
One's
like,
holding the other one. You
you
know,
know, like something about like the bag of garbage is useful for something.
The bag of garbage gets taken out at least once a week.
There you go.
oh, taken out. Okay.
What's the difference between, we might have done this one or maybe one tangentially related. What's the difference between a guitar player and a pizza?
I don't know. What?
A pizza can feed its family.
Wow.
Which is really point. The pizza have a family, and does it feed it from itself? That's a weird.
Yeah. What's
you know.
the food of that?
Right.
You know.
It should have been a pizza can feed a family.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh.
We had pizza last night, and it was quite good. And I'm going to tell you a hack, and people are going to get mad at me for this. I got a little short position on Tesla right now, so we'll see if we make some money in the middle of this. Someone out there is going, that's insane. And that's okay.
Especially when this comes out like weeks later.
Right. Right.
Yeah. But
They'll go, that guy would that, or this will be the historic drop. Anyway, so I had pizza last night. I'm going to tell you the hack. A lot of pizza's getting very expensive these days.
Sure.
You know, everything's expensive these days. But if you go on DoorDash, you expect to sort of pay a lot, and you do. But if you order whole Sbarro pizzas for delivery via DoorDash, I found it's actually one of the cheaper extra large pizzas you can get. And if you order the whole pizza, they make it to order. You know,
That's
if you're
at the
getting
mall?
slices. So it's in the mall is the only one. And they don't deliver. But DoorDash will go get it for you.
Sure.
So someone sent us like a $50 gift card. And we were able to get like 2 pizzas and I think some breadsticks. And I don't think we had to put any money in for the tip. And it was good. And
That
so
is a hack.
it is a nice little, it's like, because you go to some of the other places, like Hungry Howie's or Marco's, or some people not in the Southeast are going, what pizza place do you-"
Papa John's.
We have Papa John's
Yeah.
and Domino's and Pizza Hut and all
and
that
the
stuff.
best one, Jets,
Yeah.
is the best.
Jets. I meant to say Jets over Marco's. I don't really go to
Yeah.
Marco's.
I
Jets
like
is
Jets.
really good.
It's expensive though.
It's very
It's super expensive. It's
So
it's
expensive.
up there in like the round table world of like we all agree it's good. You're
Round
not, you're
Table's
gonna
so good.
so good and so expensive. Round table's like $1 million.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Oh my gosh, I had a friend that worked at Round Table, and we used to just go in there when it wasn't busy, and he would just let us make our own pizzas.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
hop in there.
We
and
would
make
hop
them.
back in
Yeah.
there and make our own
That's-
pizzas.
That Round Tables is probably out of business now.
100%.
From the you know, they got premium toppings, man. You know, and I like anything with a theme, and they really stuck with it. You know, you know, Guinevere's whatever, Delight or Garden, whatever. That was the vegetable pizza. You know, and then all the name. You know, it's like
I don't remember
Montague's Meat
been a
Marvel.
while, yeah.
You know, Montague's Meat Marvel. They're all the things. They're like the
Yeah.
Round Table, King Arthur's.
No, I get it.
King Arthur.
You know,
like
special
it.
whatever.
Yeah.
And the root beer, there's no better root beer than out of a Round Table red cup
Oh,
with the
yeah.
faded Coca-Cola logo
Yeah,
that you go up
plastic,
there and
yeah.
do, and the mood lighting, and your parents brought you there after the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th grade basketball game. Maybe you lost,
lot of
maybe you
basketball,
didn't.
yeah.
You know, but you went there.
I know. I remember. Oh man, we're talking about pizza places now. Remember Lamppost Pizza?
Oh yeah.
Lamppost was
California?
good. Yeah.
Lamppost was like the. I never really played sports.
Yeah.
Obviously, but but I would be.
You went into music,
That was
John.
funny to me.
You went you went
But
into
I would
music,
be
John.
in there, and there would be sports teams in there.
Yeah. Got the jerseys on. They're still kind of like sweating.
RC Cola.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always a Street Fighter 2 and the duel Tetris and that bubble, those 2 little lizards that shot the
The
Yeah, they go up that
bubble
way.
game.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The bubble game was
It's
great.
like, do you want to play?
The bubble game
yeah.
was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that was in there.
Hey, this is going to be a random one.
Yeah.
But talk to me about these dudes up on your speakers. What's going on here? Can we
Oh.
can we show these and talk about these?
Well, I'll pull them down here so we can see them.
I mean, they've been there for a long
I actually
time.
It's so weird that you say that. I just noticed
just
this
noticed.
one. That
Is it
he's
new? I just
holding-
noticed it.
yeah, one
I
of
just
these
noticed
is
it
new.
today.
One of these is new. Hang on, let me grab this.
The
Okay,
block
maybe
one
that's
is
it.
not new.
Okay.
So my kids usually get me some sort of likeness of myself for my birthday or something.
Okay.
And I think this comes from mixed messages that we send in society when kids are little and they go to school for Father's Day, parents' birthdays, any occasion. Kids are like, they're always like, make something for your parents. And then they always make like a picture of themselves.
Yeah, drawings.
You know, it's like, here's a picture of me that I drew on. Here you go, Dad. Don't you want this? Like, yeah, all I want is a picture of you.
Yeah, I see you all the time.
Self-absorbed little piece of, you know what I mean? But this is, I mean, no wonder we have such
And
a
a poorly drawn
Yeah.
self-portrait
Right,
for
right.
sure.
no wonder we have such a self-absorbed society. You know, it's like, what could make you more happy than a picture of me?
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, so my kids, they sent away for this Lego that looks like me,
like
and it's a
that.
little
Oh,
Lego.
Best Dad.
Yeah, it says Best Dad on it. And the hair color is currently a little bit inaccurate because I cut the top short. I left the long kind of back. You know what I mean?
Do you have a mustache?
Business in the front, party in the back. Yeah, I got a little. There's a beard too. See the
Oh, I
beard
didn't
on
see the
there?
beard. It looked like
Yeah.
you were frowning.
I
at
like the
first.
glasses because the eyeballs are painted on top of the glasses.
Yeah, on the glasses. I know if
Right.
you lose the lenses, you're out of. So I had the hair and
Very interesting.
we've also recently we just got this one too. They just sent me this, or they just gave me this, and so it's just
it's a
bobblehead
bobblehead.
of me.
I like that.
Oh, that's also you.
That's also
that
me.
also that guitar is what all
see
AI
this?
draws guitars
Yes,
like.
exactly. I was like,
Right.
I like how it's like it's like pretty realistic, except for the guitar.
Except for the guitar.
Looks like a drawing come to life. So
I like that
we sent them a photo.
Okay.
And
It's pretty good.
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Great.
If you said that wasn't you, I would also believe that.
Totally.
Like, oh yeah,
Sure.
that's my friend Dennis.
It's
who
like
plays
somebody-
guitar.
here we go.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will be the front of the YouTube thing. And then I also have have that drawing over there where I'm like the Russian oligarch.
Yeah, the
You
one
know?
that's in a lot of the videos.
That's an AI
Yeah.
one, no?
No, that's just Photoshop.
Oh,
That's
really?
just an old school, probably a guy in India or the Philipines who had the Photoshop.
They got you that
Also
one?
a gift. Yeah.
Also a
That's
gift.
a good one.
Wow.
And then right behind John, you see that's my family as The Simpsons.
I've noticed that before.
that's a
Yeah.
good
I
one.
like that one.
Yeah.
Maybe we can snap a photo of both those photos and put them up there. Maybe we did that already.
Right.
I
They're,
don't
they're
know.
outdated though. I mean, in terms of your family.
Yeah, right. I have
You know?
another. There's another.
gotta add
there's
more.
another little
No,
one.
this one's missing a person.
Yeah, that's missing a person. So,
Interesting. Okay,
Anyway,
so
that's-
that's a new acquisition. That's why we never saw it before.
new acquisition. New acquisition. Yeah, something about. I keep checking. Are we recording everything? We are. Everything looks good. Anyway, last episode. Let's address a couple things from the last 2 episodes.
Can I ask John a question first, and then we launch into this?
Please. Yeah.
Just finish the trifecta.
Oh yeah.
Les
Yeah, go ahead.
Paul, Telecaster.
Oh.
What's the third guitar I'm not saying? Les Paul, Telecaster.
It's got to be Stratocaster.
Say it a few more times.
Strat?
And one more time?
Strat.
Interesting.
Okay.
What the heck?
What did you hear? What did you hear there?
I heard more of your deal.
Right.
Strat.
Desi had a real. Desi has pointed this out for
What the
years.
heck are
I
we
know, you're
doing?
so confused.
I know. So
Look at him.
Desi has pointed out to me for years that I say strat, not strat.
Oh.
Strat.
I don't know.
You know?
Did I say Strat?
Closer
think
to
so.
that than Strat.
Yeah, nobody quite.
Strat.
I think I'm really emphasizing it. He's the only person
Yeah.
that's ever pointed out until
Gosh.
he points it out to people, and then they go, "Oh, I hear it." Kind
Can
of.
I also say something? That was an excellent test because I was really trying to figure
You had
out
no idea.
what guitar you were talking about.
Uh-huh.
Not focusing on how to.
And you
say
had
it.
me say it a
Yeah.
couple times.
SG?
It never occurred to me that you were analyzing
listening.
how I
Yeah.
was saying the
Yeah.
word.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
well.
SG.
Because
right.
if you would have said 335, I would have been like, well, okay, let's keep going here. You know,
I love it.
we gotta get to Strat.
I love that.
Okay.
So let's touch on the last 2 episodes for a minute because it's really solidified something in my head. 2 episodes ago, episode 48, 38,
Nailed it.
younger than more than I, higher number than my age, by the way.
By a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 38. There was also correction. Someone there's all these corrections. You know how we started doing? We did a
Yeah.
couple corrections. Well, now someone put that the 37 was not the most. It was not quite as you said. It's the most. It was like the 37. It didn't appear more than. It appeared the most of other randomly generated numbers, but it wasn't more than all the other. Look, I shouldn't have to give this disclaimer, but I will. The new slogan of this podcast is "Guitar Friends," probably mostly true.
With a shrug, like, is it?
Also, like, gosh, man, if people are coming here to get
Well, I appreciate
Accurate. The news.
I appreciate the correction and stuff, but then that
like,
combined with
Lord
the,
help them. Right.
It's like that
You
combined with the.
misunderstood.
I could not care any less if I was accurate.
Well,
or
we
not.
did the FDR, like I did the FDR thing, and
Yeah.
then and just like most of the, in the minute we might talk about a conspiracy theory.
Hold on. Can I say something though? Uh-huh. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
if you are just talking between two of your friends
Right.
and someone says something and you're like, is that true? Do you like pull out a phone and you look?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I think
And then
it's
you're
true.
and then you're like, oh yeah, no, you got it wrong. It's this and that. Right? I guess that's what's happening here. Mm-hmm. Like I've said this before, people may not understand. These cameras could be on or off.
Right.
Our
They're all-
conversations
they're
are
all-
essentially the same.
Right.
So many times we're sitting at lunch and we're like, we should have been recording
Yeah,
all of this.
yeah.
That could have been an
It
episode.
could have been an episode.
See, and so this ties into what two things I've learned from the podcast. One is, so a couple episodes ago we did the we did like we said let's look at a Kemper parameter, and we did the definition control, and I thought maybe we should do it in this format rather than like sitting in front of two people sitting in front of a camera and talk about something. And,
which we did also.
yeah, and I hated it, absolutely hated it. I felt like it ruined that episode of the podcast. I even tried to watch
Too
the
specific
clip.
about guitar.
I even tried to watch the clip, and it was like, I don't even want to watch this video. I didn't want to watch the video. I don't know who watched
Not a
it
good
because
sign.
I didn't want to watch it.
Right.
And I looked at the YouTube analytics, and they were way down. And I thought, well,
Nobody
no wonder.
watched it.
No wonder nobody wants this content. So I thought, okay, we won't do that again. Then my thinking was, John was out of town. You were in,
Florida.
yes, I was going to say DeSantatopia.
DeSantatopia.
DeSantatopia. And
That's what they call it there.
right. It's the other Ivory Coast because Elephant Republic. Anyway,
This is good.
I don't know.
there's the Gulf Coast there. Like all good God-fearing people in the Southeast, you headed wagon south to the Gulf Coast. And the Gulf Coast has something for everybody. There's the posh parts of the Gulf Coast. There's the redneck parts of the Gulf Coast. There's the Disneyland parts of the Gulf Coast. There's the sleepy parts of the Gulf Coast. There's the Blue Angels side of the part of the Gulf Coast. And you can go so far to one side of the Gulf Coast that you don't even realize you're still in the Gulf Coast because you're in Alabama. But it is still the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the Gulf Coast does go all the way to Galveston, Texas. Do you know what I mean?
Right, but it really gets ugly if you get a little bit too far into Alabama. You know,
It
you got to
does.
there's a stretch there. Is
It
it
does.
Orange Beach, and
Orange Beach
Gulf
is.
Shores?
I've heard it's nice.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I've never been there.
Yeah. It's not it's a beloved family member. I'm going to send you to voicemail. The water, the Emerald Coast is really a tight little spot there where the water is really beautiful.
Yeah.
And you get out of that, and it's like it's the same coast, same water, just a couple miles up. You know, the seagulls are migrating the same distance. Nobody knows. You spill some oil over there, you're going to kill some stuff over here. It's the same ecosystem, you know? But the water really does get a lot browner, a lot darker at first. And then you still got some really decent stuff going on, some good stuff going on in Alabama. But by the time you get to Galveston, you might as well be in front of a large lake. The beaches in Galveston are
Nasty.
the water is not right.
It's gross.
You're too far away from the ocean current. I think that's what's going on. The
I don't know what's
further you
happened.
get in this Gulf, you're getting there's more and more land. You really are getting far away from that like jet stream and stuff. Because where's the water the most beautiful? The southern tip of Florida. You
Well,
know?
yeah.
I mean, it's like amazing, right? But the beaches don't form down there because it's all islands sticking up. So they're not like these big white sand beaches. Like you get to the Keys, and it's like the beach is like a drop off into the water. It's like, what the? It's like, oh, right, we're standing on mountaintops. Very steep mountaintops.
Right.
Anyway, that's not the point of the podcast. What is the point of the podcast?
Jokes
The
on
point of
them.
this?
There is no point of the
There
podcast.
is no point of the podcast. But we had Desi. He sat in your seat. I thought it was great, and I love Desi. But
I love Desi too.
you know, at some point I realized I think we're doing an episode about guitar. We had a guitar. He was talking about the guitar, and I realized, but guitar is the modifier. It's the adjective. It modifies friends. You know,
Friends.
you see, and so is this
You
a guitar?
can't call it just friends.
No.
That's
They-
been done.
they did.
People would think it's a Friends podcast.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they would think it's about Central Perk, the show.
You're into
Right.
that show, right?
You know,
Oh, I love that show.
yeah, that
I've
show's
only
good.
seen like 10 episodes or something.
What?
Wow,
Really?
a Friends.
I've watched
yeah,
that.
never.
But
Not
you
even-
watch like Seinfeld.
Yeah, we're like 5 seasons into that. Yeah.
I think I've watched every episode of Friends at least twice.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Because they went to syndication a lot.
It's one of the only like full sets of like shows that we own. Like,
you
we
own
it?
own it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You've never said a more millennial thing in your
On
life.
I know,
VHS.
totally. No. We own it on like Apple TV.
Oh.
Still, kind of.
If you had the
I guess-
DVD set, that's something else.
I think we do have some of the seasons.
I have the DVD set of King of Queens because I one time lost power for a or not power. I lost like internet.
Wow.
We
King
moved
of
into a
Queens.
place and didn't have internet for like 2 weeks.
That show actually is funny.
It's really funny. And I went to Target and bought it. I was like, what are we
Kevin-
gonna do? Kevin James. Yeah.
Funny.
Funny guy.
Mm-hmm.
Funny guy. And so, I was thinking last time I had Desi and Matt on the podcast, and all the comments were like, "Where are the other two guys? I don't like these two guys as much." It was really harsh.
That's brutal.
That's
yeah.
so sad.
So,
They're amazing
so
dudes.
I thought to myself, okay,
Those
when we
guys are
have
great.
when we have other people, there has to be at least two of us, and then we'll have like the guest on, like someone can sit in for someone. And
Like Addison or Jared.
and yeah, we haven't published that episode at the time we're filming this, but I fear it will still be comments about that. And this was too guitar pointed, you know. And Desi, bless his heart, he kept bringing us back to guitar. He kept trying to get us back on.
Purposely, yeah.
And what a lot of people don't know is Desi runs a much more successful guitar podcast than this one.
Right.
He actually has a podcast that was #1 on Apple for a long time, and it still is like in the top 10 charts.
Wow.
It's Guitar Music Theory podcast.
I did not realize that.
is very highly listened to. I believe he has in the tens of thousands active like recurring listeners every week. Yeah, it's a very successful podcast. And it's Desi like breaking stuff down, listening to stuff, and like doing stuff. And it's like a one-man show, but it's very guitar topic heavy. They're not talking about Cheez-Its,
Not for 22 minutes.
No.
No, we didn't. Did we talk about the Taco Bell Cheez-It? Guys,
Essentially, yes.
I was
but-
in Florida.
Yeah.
There was a guy wearing swim shorts
Right.
that weren't Taco Bell themed. They were Taco Bell branded.
Wow.
Like Marshall.
It said Taco Bell on the side, and they were purple, and they had pictures of like all of their food items.
Incredible.
I don't know where to acquire these, but I think I
Right.
must.
Yeah.
So
I think
that's
I
probably
have to-
like
eBay.
I think I have to buy
With the
them.
Marshall's t-shirts.
yeah,
and
it's
the-
probably like
Wow.
it's probably like either just go get it from Alibaba, like AliExpress
Yeah.
in China, or like Rad Dad or like Happy Dad. They have like the license to do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
I
there's a
love-
company like doing it.
My wife and I looked, and we were like, "Those are the best swim." He wins.
Yeah.
Those are the best swim shorts.
What was
Sooze
on
by-
them? Like tacos and
Yeah, it was
stuff?
like tacos and burritos.
A bunch of different menu items.
Yeah.
Gosh, I got so hungry just now. Like I went from off to fully on.
Well, remember I told you your lunchtime is 11:30. It's 11:28.
I'm trained.
It's right now.
I can't go to 1:30.
By the way, a couple episodes, Suze on the edit put in the Marshall shirt when I said that the Marshall's guy wasn't real. Mm-hmm. And somebody else, we got a comment. Someone says, "Oh, you guys are into conspiracy theories. Didn't take you for that type." I would just say, I said this on the last one. I feel like I have to repeat myself a lot because you weren't here, so I'm like catching you up. Conspiracy theories make the world more fun,
Yeah.
And the craziest conspiracy theory of all is that there are no conspiracy theories, and everything we're being told is the truth. That's truly the delusional mind. That is really the
I thought you
crazy.
meant like that.
If you believe that,
Right.
That's really
you're
excellent.
the biggest conspiracy
Yeah,
theorist of
you-
all. You know,
I only like conspiracy theories that are so. I mean, we were talking. We were saying that this person was not a real person,
yeah,
and
It's
that
exciting.
and that he was an AI generated person.
well, I don't know if he's AI generated.
No, but listen, this is what
He's something generated.
This is the thing. This theory is so far fetched. It requires that everything in our reality is not real. That's why it's so interesting.
If this is
Because
possible,
if that guy is not real wearing that Marshall shirt, then nothing is real. And so if
there-
anyone listening to me
Well-
thinks that I might actually believe that,
Look,
Lord
I'm just
help.
saying.
Right.
I'm just saying that this is all I'm saying is like there is that sort of thing where like if you watch like if you just appreciate for a moment in any discipline how knowledge changes so radically over time and how young civilization is and how young our modern understanding of the world is. Only just recently if we look back, did we really consider ourselves to know anything at all from today's perspective? Meaning we look at people 200 years ago and we look at their understanding of things and we think that's silly. Just 200 years ago. You know what I mean? We were doing like we were like, let's just chop off his arm and burn it. It's the best idea anyone's got. And now we've mapped the human genome and we're editing genes. Like it's so crazy where we just came in 150 years, right? From the Civil War, chopping people's arms off, to right now. Just 10 years ago, very expensive. 20 years ago, hugely expensive to map part of the human genome. Now we've mapped the whole thing. Now we can edit genes. We have people who are in remission from cancers. We're not ready to call it a cure, but they've edited their genes and they're still in remission. And we're waiting to see if they come out of remission, you know? So like pretty wild stuff. Then you appreciate for a moment like the Rosetta Stone, which is a stone with a bunch of markings that gave us the translation to be able to translate multiple languages, and why we can even read, like, I don't know what exactly we can read, but there's a bunch of old civilization stuff we can read because of the Rosetta Stone. It had a key for translating. That stone was in a building for thousands of years before Napoleon came across it. And because he discovered it and they deciphered what was on it, they went, oh my gosh, this is the key to these dead languages. Somebody else already wrote the key for how to. That's why the software where you learn languages is called Rosetta Stone. It's a real stone that was part of a building, and they had etched in this key. And I forget what they were translating. I think it was, I don't know, it was Hebrew or some Mesopotamian. I don't know, whatever. But somebody back then, it was just sitting in a wall for years and for thousands of years, and nobody cared about it. And like, it wasn't a big deal until Napoleon came across it. And then boom, now all of a sudden we reach back with all this ancient knowledge because we can read texts that we couldn't read before. We have an access of history and accounts we didn't have. It was gonna be lost. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was very close to being lost. In fact, it was lost for an amount of time and then it was found. And so like, when I see stuff like that, I just go, well, it would be silly to think that our current understanding won't be regarded as very foolish. And we've seen a lot of stuff like that just in recent history. Like the boson particle shows us that there are measurable and appreciable ties in the universe which we don't really explain with physics, but we see it happening. And in the future, you know, you take their best guess is like maybe you take.
You're talking about quantum entanglement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
that's what I was thinking.
And so their best guess is, why is there entanglement? And so their best guess is because maybe at the beginning, this electron and this electron started as the same thing. Maybe they were some atom that decayed into a positron and those two electrons came out of it. And so somehow there is some tie that we don't see. Why are they entangled and not those two? Why are these two entangled and not these, right? Why is that? And so then that opens the possibility of like, well, whatever I do to this one, I could do to the other. So I could heat it. So right now we go, well, look, we could heat this, and look, it heats up, right? But the potential for that, where the mind goes for like humans, is, well, this could be communication faster than the speed of light, because if I could somehow inject some information into this thing, it would happen to the other one. So I could communicate and change something some other place. I could even build something potentially through this entanglement by getting this thing to over here. I could, whatever I do to this. So then that opens up a whole bunch of possibilities where we'd be utilizing some sort of tie-in that we can't do currently. Somebody smarter than me is going, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. It doesn't matter. That's my point, is a little bit, is like, I don't know if I would testify in a court of law that wasn't a real person. And I don't even know how that not being a real person fits into any of my biblical hermeneutic, like how I understand the world and faith, or my general worldview that the government spends too much money and Joe Biden is a modern day Weekend at Bernie's being paraded around. We won't edit that out. But my point, the point is, you know what I mean? Like,
pretty solid.
There was no reaction from us.
I have all of these opinions that sort of sometimes live in these isolated little things. And you go like, is that true? Yeah. And I'm going, well, I'm not ready to say it's not true, but I'm not sure how it harmonizes with this other thing I think is true. You know? Right. So is there a giant of Kandahar? Fun? I don't know how that fits in with any of the things we just talked about.
Right.
I don't know how it would even make sense that there could be a giant. We could talk about some. I mean,
the other one too is, is there life on other planets? Mm-hmm. Right. It's a big freaking universe.
Yeah.
Right. Does it break your understanding of the Bible and whatever?
Yeah. No, not really.
And yeah, mine neither.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, it could be. Who knows?
Yeah.
Be pretty wild. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, the wildest thing.
I'm with you. There's things that I can be like, I don't know how this fits in, but I think it's plausible. Mm-hmm. There's a non.
I mean, I'll just tell you I'll tell you the absolute stupidest idea that's a lot of smart people hold. It's that this election they should vote. No, it's kidding. No. The stupidest idea that a lot of people hold and they just run over is what there is you get a lot of proof around evolution as a system, and then they backwards tie it to somehow being involved with the Big Bang Theory.
Oh yeah.
And even Einstein was like, I got to come up with something to explain this because this is just such a terrible idea.
Yeah.
It's just such a bad idea. Because it's like it's logically not true and it's philosophically not true.
Yeah.
There's nothing, and then boom, everything. All of a sudden, there's something, and it's like it comes from this idea that we all acknowledge there has to be a start of things, and we don't know what that start is. So then someone goes, well, it just boom. There was like a lot of force, a lot of matter, and a lot of energy because we know there's energy. And we see a bunch of things getting created by energy, and everything has energy, and there's things in motion. We're watching how, right? And so,
have you seen the Pete Holmes clip from one of his latest stand-ups?
No,
he talks about this.
Does he?
Yeah, people should go look it up.
Yeah,
Pete Holmes, Big Bang. It's a 60-second clip, but I won't even try to say it. But he's basically saying like, if nothing suddenly erupts into everything, that's pretty magical.
It is really magical. That's
right?
That's the thing.
It's like pretty magical. Nothing.
Yeah. What? Okay. Nothing. Bang. So, well, what caused the bang? Nothing. And it's like, well, why didn't it cause it earlier? Why didn't it cause it later? Why didn't it cause it bigger? Why didn't it cause anything? All of the whys lead you to then realize this isn't an explanation of anything at all.
Right.
This is not an explanation of anything at all.
Right.
And philosophically, you can't have nothing become something.
Yeah.
Right. So even putting logic aside, you wouldn't be able to do that, or else.
It's pretty. I think that two things.
But it's held. My point is, it's held by a lot of people who are very intelligent.
Yeah.
And it just is like, I get that it's maybe just the end point of our understanding from a scientific point of view. It's where we just go, well, we don't know. And so we're looking at all these other things, and maybe some of these things have some answers, right? Like we just figured out that the universe isn't expanding outwardly. The space itself all over the universe seems to be getting larger. Mm-hmm. So it's not like there's a center point and everything's still moving slowly out from it, and we can't appreciate that because our entire solar system might be moving. We know space is expanding, but now we realize the space in between things may be what's expanding. Like everything is expanding,
right?
But there's a lot of stuff. The vacuum of space. That's not even a thing that they talk about anymore.
The thing is, okay. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. We were lightheartedly debating something. Right? It was making our wives very uncomfortable, but we were debating this topic. It doesn't matter what it is.
It was politics or flat Earth?
Yes.
Both. It was
simultaneously.
I feel like that's where this goes.
But it doesn't matter what it is.
Yes,
what the thing I said was, look, you're putting all scientists into one homogenized group that thinks a thing.
Yeah.
I was like, that is unfair of scientists. You don't, not all guitar players have the same opinions and thoughts and facts. You know what I mean? Based on the facts that we do know about guitar, we don't all come to the same conclusion. But the ones that are really outspoken...
Some people play Helixes.
Yeah, exactly. No. We could talk about Helix later, actually. I have some thoughts.
Oh.
But
That's guitar.
A guitar topic.
I know. We saved that for the very end.
Okay, right. The outro.
But I think it's unfair to group all scientists together. There's a lot of people who are scientists as their job that come from all different kinds of backgrounds. And you know what I mean?
Yes.
So to say like, oh, this is it's like, no, these are just what the loudest scientists think.
Yeah. And so, okay, jumping all the way back.
Yeah.
Do we think that guy's fake? I mean, maybe. It's fun to think, but I will say this. Sue's put in the Marshall shirt.
That eBay listing is fake. It's not real.
Well, I was going to say, no, here's the thing.
Did we buy it? Did it come in the mail?
No, and you know what?
I know what I'm doing after lunch.
See, here's what people don't realize is the moment I said it, not even the moment it was published, the moment I said it, the simulation populated that shirt into existence so that we couldn't prove what I said was true.
Guys, we need a Marshall shirt now.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because it heard me say it.
Totally. It's like the what do they call that? With like the Bernstein Bears versus the Berenstein Bears. What is that called?
Oh.
Yeah. It's
Everyone's screaming it.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
watched
that,
the video.
it's the
on that,
Mandela
the
effect.
Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Like the movie Shazam
With Sinbad.
that didn't exist, but everyone remembers it.
Yeah.
Not Shazam. What was it called?
Shazam.
Shazam. Before that, now there's a movie called Shazam.
I don't know.
But not with Sinbad.
Not with Sinbad.
Yeah, he's like it's a funny like superhero guy, right? Red,
No, that's
red suit.
Yeah,
that's the DC
Yeah.
Shazam.
Yeah, okay,
But
that's-
everyone remembers
an
a
old
movie
genie
called
movie,
Shazam.
and people say no, you're getting confused with the Shaq movie where he was the genie, and
called
people are like,
Kazam.
called Kazam, and then people go, no, I remember Sinbad.
Right.
And there's always these things on the internet, like here, I found the VHS tape.
And Sinbad's
know.
like, I never starred in a movie called
would know.
He would
Right.
Once he says it, it's
But people are
it's
like,
done.
no, I have definitely.
have it.
It's like the Bernstein Bears thing, or there's another popular one.
Yeah. I saw one lately that someone was like, the Fruit of the Loom had a what are those things called?
The fruit,
Yeah,
like the mascots, the
the Fruit of the Loom. What are those?
the cornucopia,
cornucopia
thing. Yes.
Someone was like, Fruit of the Loom used to have a cornucopia on its logo, and someone was like, no, it never did. And then Fruit of the Loom was like, we've never had a cornucopia in our logo, and then they found a picture of a Fruit of the Loom shirt with a cornucopia in the logo,
Right.
and it's
Wow.
like, how did this exist?
Right, or it was fake. I don't know.
Or it was
You seem so
knows?
confident since you're the company.
Nothing's real. See, we don't even know. And there's the thing: we're in this time, like we talk about, like Zuck, is that video real or not? We've been saying for 6 months, we're in this. Pretty soon you're not going to be able to trust video evidence that looks good to the human eye because it can be faked. There's deep fakes, and then you're not going to be able to. We already know it with audio. We see it with pictures, and we see it kind of with video. But it is getting to the point that these very elaborate videos with moving cameras and it can be shot like an iPhone. Like these things are replicatable, they're fakeable, and it makes sense that certain people will have this tech before it is available for free to us. And I look at the stuff that's available for free to us, and I just go, it's definitely within the capability right now to fake that video of Mark Zuckerberg in his house reading a script with a perfect AI voice with and there's a hallucination in the back, or he's trolling, and that's a good thing too. Maybe.
I mean, it could just be it could be him doing it as an experiment.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't
not?
even have to be nefarious. It could just be like, can we do this? And does anyone even?
My theory was this was the live test of this is not a hype. This is just Mark in a video. We're gonna talk. He's gonna talk like other videos of him talking, and this one we're gonna make.
And
fake.
he wrote the script,
and we're gonna see if anyone.
but then
this
AI
is an official,
did it.
This is an
Right.
official communication. This is an official communication.
Right.
Nothing too crazy going on here. There's no,
But this way he can live forever.
Yeah, it's not DARPA. It's just Facebook AI team seeing what they can, what they can do, and so
That sounds reasonable.
that's all. That's all. And so it's like we keep saying it's coming. It's coming. No, it's here right now. It's here right now.
Right.
We just listened to the most awesome intro song on the world's greatest.
I know. We just
Guitar
talked about
podcast.
before we started rolling that it would be really difficult for. It would have
couldn't
been
do it.
very difficult for us to have written that.
Yeah, we would not.
You
have
gave us a
we
week
would not.
to do it.
We would not have been very
Come
good
back
at
with
it.
an amazing funk song to
Yeah.
these lyrics. That would have been really hard.
We would not have been able to do it well.
Nope.
And so here we are, episode 39, 40.
40.
See?
40.
We've crested over.
See?
Man, So at the time of recording, I think we published episode 38 like only a few days ago.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
When I gotta say, when I saw it, I was like, what is this? I had no recollection.
Of even filming it.
Because we did 2 together, and it was like, you don't remember what you said 2 weeks ago.
Recollection of
Yeah.
it. Oh my gosh.
You just don't remember.
I had to like skip through. I was like, what did we even talk about?
What is this?
So you
Yeah.
also didn't want to watch it.
I wasn't actually here. It was
much-
all AI.
So,
Intriguing.
yeah. So I think at the end of the day, it feels like we got to have all 3 of us and then a guest. Because that's always worked really well. You know
All
what I
three
mean?
of us or 2 of us and a guest?
3 of us and a guest.
I see.
Like I thought it was fine, but it didn't feel.
It was fun. The only time we've done that was when Addison was here, and that was fun.
That's
I was
true.
4 with Jared when you were.
I
Oh,
was
Jared was
sick,
here.
But you were like virtual.
Yeah.
That was virtual. That was
Yeah, you were virtual. That was fine.
That was AI also.
It was okay for you guys. It sucked for me.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
I mean, we were playing games and stuff, so it worked a little better.
We used to do more games.
We could do more games.
like the pedal board game. The
Can
should
we
be
ask
played
people
in
to put in the
church.
comments what types of games they might
There we
like,
go.
or just,
More
or just
games.
subject? We can come up with a game. So
Yeah.
let's a big ask someone to come up with a good game.
Right.
But
or even just ideas. People have good ideas.
What
yeah,
do
throw
you
in
wanna
ideas.
hear?
We got
Yeah.
good ideas.
Crowdsourcing
You know?
stuff like this is always better.
I think so. I think it is better.
Yeah.
So
John and I played church together. You wanna
yeah,
talk
we
about
played
that?
at church together. I got to catch you up on this too. We played at church together, and
Yeah, there's
Sooze
some
played
joke
keys.
about about Sooze not being able to play the same thing twice. Let's hear it.
On keys. I think you could play the same thing twice.
Maybe. I was on keys at
You were,
church.
you were
Yeah.
on keys.
Yeah, yeah. We talked about it last episode, but
He was on the keyboard, and
he didn't think I could play keys.
Oh, I've seen it.
well, actually, I think the problem was not the problem. You did amazing. You did great. I thought he was a virtuoso at keys.
I misspoke. I said that keys is my first instrument, and I
How
meant
would you take that? If
Keys
someone
was
said to
my
you,
first instrument.
keys is my first instrument.
You
You know, it's
blow
a little
your-
bit like I'm actually a keyboard player.
You want me,
know
you
what
want
I
me to
mean?
blow
Like-
your mind?
Yeah.
Piano was my first instrument.
Right. And
See, he said it
I know.
better.
And
My
clarinet.
first instrument.
Right. Clarinet was my first instrument, but I'm not gonna go jump up there on a weekend
Yeah.
on the clarinet.
For a lot of reasons.
A lot.
Your ability being only one of them.
Only one of them.
Not even the most
Yeah, do
important
we
one.
want this?
No.
Is
It's
it
not
good?
needed or wanted.
Is it
I
a
would-
worship music?
I would definitely need a music stand for the clarinet. But anyway, it was great. It was great. Sooze did great. He told me a couple days before. In our chats is when I picked up, that you were like, oh, a lot of piano
There's a lot of
intros.
piano.
I was like, oh,
I feel like there was more than a typical weekend. Didn't you think so? It was piano on everything. Is that always the case?
I think they tried to pick songs with where they didn't need acoustic guitar because we had no acoustic
okay.
guitar. So the lineup was
like they
bass,
were-
drums, electric guitar, keys, and then singers. We had no keyboard. We had no acoustic that weekend.
And one
so I
electric,
think
yeah.
they kind of tried to find stuff that was piano heavy and not
Okay.
acoustic.
I felt like I was
you know?
being put to the test or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're going to come in here?
You probably passed, though.
Yeah, you were fine. You
Well,
passed.
yeah.
You passed.
Worship songs. I said
Yeah.
if there's nothing like crazy hard or like in really weird keys,
Right.
like I'll be fine. But
Yeah.
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 anyway, it was fun though. I enjoy playing different churches.
It is fun. Yeah.
Sooze on keys is good.
Yeah.
I think we've played together.
We've
with
done
me
it.
on
It's
keys,
great.
Yeah.
yeah. It was good.
Yeah. I
It
want
was
to see
good.
you play keys.
Sooze on drums is better. Sooze on drums is
That's
great.
been longer. That's been many years since I
The
played
last
drums.
time I saw you play drums on a stage, we both lived in California.
Really? Never at Fellowship.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Did you play drums at Fellowship?
Just like not on weekends, but like in an audition or
Oh,
like a,
yeah.
just random
I
stuff.
never saw that.
We had a bunch of people. It was their first time. We had like a fill-in drummer.
He was good too.
He was good. He was good.
Nice guy.
Sue's first time, and we had like a singer. It was her first time. I never met her before, which is a little rare. My church isn't so big that people would go long enough to then become involved in the worship team, and I wouldn't even meet them or have ever seen them before. But I was like, I've never seen you before. That's
We started
weird.
going to a new church. We've been checking out a new church lately,
Yeah,
and the band is hilarious to me.
really.
And they sound really good.
Wait, what church is it? Can you tell us now?
I'm not going to say it on here.
Can we edit it out?
Sure.
Can you write it down and show me like this?
It's the same church where my kids go to school.
Okay, I understand.
And
People will be searching the archives of the podcast now for any mention of
anyway,
go ahead.
we
Go
can
ahead.
edit it out,
Yeah,
whatever.
sure, yeah.
But the band consisted of 2 acoustic guitar players, both
Wow.
singing, 2 electric guitar players,
Like a Simon and Garfunkel with
2 keyboard players,
stop.
You've already had 6 band members.
a bass player, a
Yeah.
drummer,
Yeah.
and then 4 more singers.
That what you just described is basically
It's like
the
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
yeah. But really, that's the Bethel Elevation. It's all
It's-
those bands are that big
And
now.
and somehow they make it work. You know, bless the sound guy who like
yeah.
I can't imagine there's any tracks at all. It's just,
Oh, there's tracks. No, there's
On
tracks.
top of that?
there
Yes,
might
for
be.
sure.
I don't know.
For sure.
Maybe
The-
perk and stuff.
The sound guy does a great job, I think, of basically picking and choosing what you're going to hear at any
At
given
any
time.
given- yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's definitely actively
So he's
mixing it.
writing.
I
back
think
there
he's
a
writing
lot.
stuff.
Yeah. Huh.
It sounds good, but it's just like, oh man. So then I was thinking, like, do I want to play here? I don't
3
know.
electrics.
I don't know if this is my vibe. I was actually thinking maybe I'll audition as a drummer.
You have been playing drums on all the metal junkie
Been
stuff.
playing drums a lot.
I don't enjoy playing with too many instruments. I don't enjoy it.
No, I don't like
It's
it.
I don't enjoy it at all. It's fine if you're recording a record or something. I get that you kind of go, you want to cover every sound that could possibly be used at different times, and so you're all going to
Yeah,
play
but
the
then
whole
you're going to
time.
mix it.
Yeah, it's
very
up to someone else
heavily.
later what actually comes
For
out,
sure.
and there's no qualms about turning someone to absolute zero. But when you're playing live, of course, dynamically, there's parts you don't play.
But there's the expectation that if you're on the stage playing an instrument, you should be heard.
Yes, and you should be playing.
Let's start there.
Yeah.
Let's start there. Yeah.
People aren't going to stand up there and play 40% of the song.
No.
No, they're going
Maybe
to.
they should.
Maybe they should. Maybe they should only be mixed in for 40% of the song.
Right.
But they're not going to play only 40% of the song.
Yeah.
And I just, I don't enjoy it personally. I enjoy a smaller band, not too small. Doesn't have to be too small. But I enjoy a smaller band because if I like playing with a band, not necessarily like everyone's covering the record.
I think maybe that's my experience as well. Like my preference really is to play with just a handful of people.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe because that's most of my career
Yeah.
in music.
Like Suze, what opinion? We have too many singers at my church. Way too many. Way too many.
Not
I
to
am.
me,
So,
but-
to
So
me,
like
it is so.
5?
It's so passe that we have a line of singers
there's
and then,
4,
and then a
right?
line of the actual
4?
band. It just feels so weird to me sometimes. Yeah,
Hmm.
4 out front, a fifth if we have a guy at the keyboard who leads a male part.
Hmm.
He'll sing, and then we'll have the guy playing acoustic will also sing. We'll often have 5 vocalists, and I just look at it and I go, I got to be honest. Now this is just my opinion. I'm more interesting to watch play guitar than random Sally Sue holding a microphone like this. Do you know what I'm saying? I now I'm a musician. If I'm looking at a band, enjoy looking at the bass player, now looking at the drummer, now looking at the guitar player, now looking at the key. Like there's something interesting about watching people make music. It's a little less interesting to me to line up persons that have kind of tight spots because of the lights.
Right.
And it's like, hold this and look interesting. It's a little bit like, you can't. Has anyone ever seen a Broadway show? You know what I mean? It's like full of exaggerated movements and all this stuff. It's like, can you see me in the back?
Actually, you know what's really funny?
But there's a little bit of like, there's a church atmosphere that fights that.
Yeah.
You get more Pentecostal, you get people running around the stage. But even when you got the one guy running around the stage, even more important is that the other people sort of hold their spots.
Right.
Because if everyone's running around, it would look like
Chaos.
some sort of a Holy Spirit mosh pit.
What's actually funny, I took my kids to see the Frozen musical this year
Here in Nashville.
here in Nashville.
Yeah.
And they both commented separately. Like there was way less people in the show than I anticipated. It is.
For
It's
what
only
show? On the stage.
On the stage
Yeah.
for Frozen. And for we saw Wicked
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
There's only like maybe 12 or 13 people like
In the
in
whole
the whole
cast.
cast.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like it's because of that. They fill up the space
Yeah.
with their movement and all of that. It seems like it would be a lot of people, but it's really not. And they all do, a bunch of different things.
So
most of them.
Wicked and the church you've been visiting, about the same amount of people on stage.
Pretty much.
Just those 12 people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, I just
With
wanted
the
to think-
caveat, I mean, it sounds good.
Sure.
I want to
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
It
No,
sounds good.
not
It's
hating
not
on it.
like big, it's not like big band equals it doesn't sound good. It can still sound really good.
Yeah.
No, it can sound great. It can sound great.
The only question I had was, do I want to be part of it?
Are they already? They're good. They're stacked.
I think they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be adding,
Yeah.
To me, it's like, look, do 2 electrics add something? Absolutely. Do 2 acoustics? No, bro. You better be singing an important harmony, or I'm questioning why you're here.
Right.
Like, why are we even taking up the stage real estate? No offense. Can you play next week?
Right.
Like, there's a whole schedule here, right? I mean, I don't think now.
Training might be the only caveat
Right.
to that.
Now, maybe you are
but-
playing music though, where 2 acoustics is a thing. Like maybe you're doing some music that's you want that.
Yeah.
And cool. And
There
if
was
you
no
are playing,
specific dual acoustic song that I remember.
no, and if you are playing 2 acoustics, man, give me a lower tuning. Put up capo on. I try to add something. Try
Can
to
I get-
pretend you're adding something.
Can I get super guitar-y
Yeah.
for 1 second?
Please.
This is
You
actually
have 6 minutes.
This is actually a cool trick. So one of the guys on acoustic guitar, it took me a while to figure out what he was doing, but he has 2 capos. And what he'll do is he'll capo, like say he wants to capo here, he'll capo the bottom 5s, or the top 5 strings here, and the bottom one here.
Yeah, it's like a cut capo.
But
they
he's
say.
in
Yeah.
standard tuning.
Yeah.
So he's able to play like a G-shaped chord, and it's in tune, but he's also able to play like an open D.
Yeah.
So it's like drop D when he wants to, but not a...
yeah.
I was like,
Like a half capo.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before, and I was like, that's
they sell
genius.
they sell a cut capo. That's and
He-
it'll even
he may have that,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
it's
It's a
one
little
of them,
shorter. Yeah,
one
yeah,
of
yeah.
them is doing all 6 here,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the other one is just doing 5.
I
Yeah.
saw an artist perform in college. He had the same thing.
Yeah.
He would
That
move
guy-
both capos
hey,
around.
Yeah.
He just earned the right to be up as a second acoustic guitar player.
Well, he's the leader,
Well,
but
there you
still.
go.
He's
And
thought it through.
I do understand if you second acoustic guitar player may also be appropriate if you have the leader guy who plays the guitar, but he reserves the rights to lift his hand, stop playing, right?
This guy's always on.
Right.
Right.
Then it's like, hey, I'm the leader and I hold a guitar. That guy's actually playing the guitar.
Right.
Yeah.
This may or may not be on. I may do whatever I want. Then I get it.
Right.
I'm just saying sometimes it feels like there's a little like the more people we stack on this planning center thing, like the more like ready we feel or something, or like we think it's going to be better.
Maybe that's...
Right.
And I think-
it is. If someone cancels, we'll still have 9
I
people.
Right.
wonder.
right.
I wonder if planning
Right.
planning center has like influenced this.
Like we have
Yeah.
these rules. Yes, I think you're right. Like we have these rules at my church, and it's and not rules, but it's just how we like operate. Where it's like, hey, if you like put in your blackout dates, so we know when you're not available, because we're going to schedule these next 3 months, right? So put them in by this date because we're going to do the scheduling. And then you do the scheduling, and then they expect this: if we assign you a date that you said you were available, and you're available, and you become unavailable, we would like you to find a replacement. Try to find a replacement. Like, please reach out to the other guitar players first, so that when you come back to the person who's the leader there, we also only have one person on staff who handles any of this, right? So it's like we would rather get back, hey, so-and-so is going to sub for me, or we're going to flip weekends, rather than I can't do it, right? Because like you kind of, which I'm okay with. It's a little more work for us, but I'm okay with it because it's like, hey, I didn't block this out. I said I was available. You put me on, right? Now, if you can't find someone, you just go back to them and say, I can't find someone. And they go, okay, it's my problem. I'll go find somebody, you know? But it's like, please ask if you could switch with somebody. Please try to work it out yourself.
That's very kind of you. I've never done that ever.
No, it's not a thing you do at all churches.
And
It's not,
you used to schedule.
Yeah,
that was my
everything.
job,
That
yeah.
was your whole job. So
we didn't have that as the policy, and then they asked us to start doing it
Yeah.
in a time when no one was employed there. And now someone is employed, and we still just do it. And I get it. It's no problem for me to say to the other 3 guitar players, can anyone sub for me in 2 weeks? Because a lot of times they go, yeah. And then I go, hey, so-and-so said they can sub for me. And that creates less work for them. I get it. It doesn't take much for me. But my wife sometimes, like she's seen the policy email that went out a while ago. It's like, please try to find a replacement. So sometimes she's up and she's just singing harmony with 4 other people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, There's not many parts where they've actually really designated a 4-part harmony. Sometimes, right? Like, we have this little Victory in Jesus tag at the end of a song this week, and they actually did work out the 4-part harmony, and it was lovely.
I was going to say, that's pretty rare.
Yes, it was just piano, and they did the 4 parts, and I went, good. This is what they spent their vocal rehearsal time on.
Right.
Lovely. And it was intentional with the piano, and it sounds, we're doing something a little old school, a little
Did you
like
have
it's
to do
just
the
a
thing
piano.
where you have to point out the note that they needed to sing?
Like play that one harder, like gung gung gung.
Yeah. No, because it was
peeve alert.
That reminds me of playing a church in the early 2000s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Look
Right.
at
Dun, 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 dun. He didn't, because she did it right out of another song that was in the same
Right.
key. So it's kind of easy to find. But
One more pet peeve when
Yes.
people sing the note. You should be right here.
that's the
I
worst.
freaking hate that.
There's a Key and Peele sketch that does
Okay.
just that,
Okay.
and it's hilarious.
It's not good.
It's not good.
and so
The hand motion is
the
required.
hand
Right.
is it.
And,
should be right
and
here.
eye contact. This is your note right here.
So my wife goes to she's reaching out, and she tells me one day, she goes, I've reached out to like 5 people on schedule. Now here's the problem: the singers, there's like over a dozen singers, so it's not like the guitar player. Like, I have a guitar chat with the guys in my church
Yeah,
where I send them funny
everyone's in
memes.
Right.
So it's easy to say,
Hey,
can anyone
play?
do this weekend? Right, I'm sick.
That's why it doesn't bother you.
No, right. If it were too many people, we wouldn't have this policy, right?
Right.
So my wife is now, blah 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 blah. Can we find somebody to? I've texted this person. I said, oh, just don't worry about it. Just tell them you're not available. And she's like, no, but they remember, like, they asked, if you can find your own replacement, please find your own replacement.
Right.
And I said, Liz, look, that's
Please
for.
go to the ends of the earth. To
I
find
told her
an-
this. I said, don't take this the wrong way, but that's for positions that are important.
How did that go?
About like this, how you're reacting.
Yeah.
I said, listen. I said, listen, you're going to say you can't make it, and they're not going to bother to schedule anyone. You know why? Because there's already 5 vocalists.
Right,
And you weren't leading a song.
Right.
So whatever harmony you were going to practice and sing and work out with them that morning when you got there, somebody else will just sing, or no one will sing.
Right.
And it won't matter also because about 1/3 of the group can't sing.
That,
Right? Because also singing has become the area where you can let on people who couldn't. It's where you can let on, when you have 5
Here we go.
singers, when you have 5
this is why
singers,
people
Yeah.
listen to this podcast.
when you have 5 singers, you're allowed to let on the people who have really great hearts, but who are, let's say, serving outside of their gifting.
Look,
Can we say it like that?
this is
See that?
I was going to bring this up earlier. This is why I think too many vocalists is diminished. You get diminishing returns because when you start doubling up on notes,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, do we need
What's the point?
3 unison
No,
singers
we don't need it.
on this one on the melody?
We don't need it.
It's not, if that's the vibe, if that's the look you're going for.
Well,
fine.
that's it. That's it. It becomes the look.
Musically,
Right.
it doesn't add anything.
It becomes the look.
It actually makes it,
Complicates it.
It complicates it because all of those people want to hear just themselves. And it's very technically
Right.
You need a lot of channels.
And
If you're not good, if you're not a good singer, like nailing a unison part with another singer is very difficult. But with being a little out of tune.
And so what happens? Is you now give the sound guy more things to decide. Do I leave this in? Does it go to 0? Does it not?
Right.
Does this need to be up at any point? Is there a point where this does need to be up? It's more things to ride.
Yeah.
And you also have a lot of people who we have one person, and I notice this happens a lot. The people with naturally powerful voices who don't have a lot of experience become a real liability because they're the ones who need mic technique the most, and they usually don't have it because they don't have a lot of experience. But you might eat the mic on a song you're singing, but you also mix yourself. Singers mix themselves with mic technique, with distance when they sing those parts.
Right.
And so to everybody else, if you're singing a song, I have to have you at a level in my monitor where I can hear you on one song, but that means you need to mix yourself on the other songs because I don't need your third harmony super loud because it's the part you want to nail at the bridge, and all of a sudden you're just on the mic, right? It's like I I have a volume control that I have to manage. You have to do that as a singer. And I'm just saying that's actually what being a really good singer is a lot of about when you sing with other people.
Right.
And when you introduce 5 people, you're not always going to have all those skills.
It's not good.
I mean, imagine the noodling that would take place. You had 5 electric guitar players, and someone's like, "All right, could we go to song?"
Terrible.
It'd be like, okay,
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, please.
Do you put background vocals in your ears?
I have no. But what happens when you have 3 different people leading 3 songs? You have to have them on, and I don't have time to go mute them in between the song. Yeah, I want them on. No, I want them on.
The answer is no.
You don't
have to.
You need them on because if they call the wrong thing or they want to go somewhere else, you got to know where they're going.
If you're unprepared.
Hey, that happened. You know, I'm.
Or you.
What if you played it good?
What if you played it the same every time?
No, but what
Or
if they
singing
say?
good.
What if they just want to repeat a different part, or they want to go somewhere else, or they start praying in the middle of a song? Like I'm at a spirit-filled church. We do that stuff. And so that's the signal.
That's
that's
outside
this weekend,
my comfort zone.
That's when the MD, like this weekend, I had the MD mic and I had to look at the drummer twice, and I said, "You got to cut the track, leave the click." Like that means we're off. Like they're doing something else, or this prayer is going way long, right?
Right.
Or like we always have moments like we had like you call the beginning of the song because we had a prayer before the first song, right? Did we? We had a prayer before one of the songs. It was before
kind of
Worthy of It
setup.
All, right? Where she's like praying. And so I'm just sitting to her, listening to her pray, waiting for it to go out before I'm going to like hit the track, right? Hit the 1.
Was she
2,
waiting for you?
3. I thought she was doing a good job with the prayer, so I'm like, let it go a little more.
Right.
She's, you know what I mean? Like we're having a moment here,
Right.
you know? So
I always get nervous about that. I always, whenever I was triggering tracks,
Right.
yeah,
The
right.
timing.
You
I
don't
would
want to
be
be on
like-
people's toes.
I would be
and
like,
stuff.
are they praying extra long
Yes.
because they're waiting for me?
As soon as you hit it, I'll stop praying, and vice versa.
And vice versa.
Who's gonna win?
There are those moments.
yeah.
There are those moments.
I would always make sure I
Yeah.
talk to whoever's leading. Be like,
Is it now?
is it now?
Sometimes we'll have the pastor come up at the end of a song and he'll go, wait, team, don't leave. And then he'll start talking and he'll want to like reprise the song or something, you know? That doesn't happen a lot. But maybe at the end. Sometimes we do like a worship at the end thing. And that's like, I don't know. To me, look, I go like, y'all be as free as you want with the microphone. You get us to go wherever you want. We're a band, not a pre-recorded thing. And that's a little bit why I don't love, to me, that's part of being a band too. Like I might play something differently than I played last service, you know? And,
Oh man,
I mean, one time I was playing with the other guitar player.
I don't know if I could play at your church.
Oh, it's so fun. Come play sometime. One time I'm playing
You
with the
should
other
play
guitar player.
keys. It's a real.
No, we'd all have so much fun.
I don't think anyone wants to hear me play keys in real time.
One time I'm playing with this other guitar player. He's the best guitar player at my church by far. His name's Kevin Marks. I think he's been on the channel. He has. And he's played with a bunch of people. He plays with Richard Marks. And they got that, what's that Richard Marks song?
I don't know.
It's like a big top 40 song. He's had forever.
Okay.
He plays with Montgomery Gentry too. What's a Richard Marks song? You know the song.
Bunch of names I don't know.
Montgomery Gentry, I'm aware of, but
You will know this song. Hang on. Richard Marks. What's his big
What was
song?
that? Jethro Tull? Was that what you were talking about?
Wherever you go, wherever you, I will
We'll
be
be
right
right
there.
here
That's
waiting for you.
that's Richard Marks. Big guy. You know, look at that hair. That gives you an idea of when he.
So your
how
buddy's
long he's
name is
been.
also Marks?
Not related. They're just
Unrelated to the.
He's just
Wow.
a guitar player.
What are
in
the
town.
actual odds?
Anyway, Kevin is an absolute monster. So one day I bring the double neck. He brings a Strat. Right.
The what?
Strat.
Sorry, I've been ruined.
You mean Strubble neck? Strubble neck. People who listen, we need to make sure we compress the audio because people who listen, like,
Yeah.
those are really. Anyway, I'm playing slide on the double neck. So I go, Kevin, look, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm thinking. And he's like, well, I'm playing. He was already playing slide on an earlier portion of the set, right? Well, Kevin is the type of guy who can pick up, who without having practiced the song, he can pick up a slide and play the song in standard tuning. So he's like, I can play slide on anything. I can just pick up a slide and start playing in standard tuning. So the slide is just available to him. So we play one service and I'm doing the slide part And my slide part is pretty rhythmy, you know? I'm really like trying to just cop like a lap steel type thing. So it's not too leady or anything. And Kevin, who had just ripped it up earlier on a slide part, he, for whatever reason in this service, I see him grab his slide and put it on his pinky. And I go, Kevin's going to play some slide on here too. So he's playing his normal parts and I'm playing mine. And then he starts doing some slide stuff, which we didn't do last year. And to me, I go, this is the joy of like,
Yeah, that sounds fun.
It's fun, right?
Yeah.
We didn't do that
In the
last
moment,
time.
yeah.
In the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you want to do.
Do you still have your double neck? I just haven't seen it like on the show recently or like any videos.
I haven't seen it in a minute.
I certainly didn't see it in church this Sunday. I thought I was gonna.
It was too heavy. I was going to bring
hear
it.
it.
We had a song in
Yeah.
E flat. We talk about this. They give us a song in E flat, and
It throws it all off.
I go, give me a guitar in E flat. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, do you tune down?
Yeah, I'll grab another guitar
Yeah.
for E flat.
I do that for B flat too.
Yeah, sure.
You would really bring another guitar for?
If
Different
if
tuning?
more than one song is in B flat,
Wow.
I'll bring another guitar. Tune
I
down
don't
a
have
half step.
never ever done that in my whole life.
Really.
I get why. I
Yeah.
never
Ugh.
think that way.
I wouldn't always do it, but this weekend it was one electric guitar, and we were playing "Worthy of It All." And I thought, I want the open strings on the high end.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As
I
opposed to
want the
capoing
rhythmic.
and playing in another open.
Oh, I'll get so confused.
I don't like capoing.
Throw the whole guitar off by one fret. I'll hit all the wrong notes. Don't
Yeah,
worry
Really?
about it. Oh, yeah.
I don't like capoing an electric guitar.
I don't know how I'll be honest. I don't know how people do that. I don't look at the guitar when I play often, and so if you throw it off by one fret, I have to be like staring down if I have a capo on one and I'm trying to hit like because I'll just be off by that one. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at the sheet. It says E. I really mean D flat, right? Let's say I'm worthy of it. Now I'm in the wrong key, but let's say I put capo one, right, and I want to hit like I'm gonna go off by the one fret. I'm gonna go to the E. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna look at the marker. I'm gonna just go where it feels right. Looking at the E and stuff. You know what I mean? No.
No.
Maybe I suck at the
I
guitar.
mean,
I don't know.
what about acoustic? I mean,
No,
it's the
I
same
think
on
what-
acoustic, right?
I think what you're saying is right, though.
First position, I'll be okay.
It's
It's
feels
electric
high.
when I start reaching up.
Yeah.
And I just go. I'm like because
It feels very unnatural to have capo one and play like an open
Yes,
F.
that feels like oh my god.
It feels like
Weird.
It
this
sounds
is going to be
right.
wrong.
Yeah.
Right. This
Yeah.
isn't where my fingers go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like looking at that D, like looking at an F on the page and going to, I'm going to play a D triad as an F, one fret down from where my brain knows it is. I feel like I'm about to hit a wrong note.
Right.
It's like I get very hesitant.
Interesting.
So I start going, am I right? Wait, this would be wrong at all other times.
I think
you know?
Sooze is better at guitar than we are.
Well, maybe I just got used to using capos more. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
think it's just the more you do it, the
Yeah.
more it's like, yeah, I know that I'm supposed to be here. Not
Yeah,
For
I don't
acoustic,
play.
I would always use it.
Man,
yeah.
I don't play acoustic very often.
Yeah.
Really, ever.
Well, I just found my acoustic. It was missing for like 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
so it was here the whole time.
It was.
You guys keep going. I got to pee, and I don't want to stop. So just
What is the
Mm-hmm.
what's the lunch plan?
I hope it.
I mean, I hesitate to bring up food on this podcast.
It is
but-
12:15 as we sit here.
Oh, is it really?
Mm-hmm.
You want to play a song? Oh, you're speaking of different tunings. All right, let's do
It's
a song.
kind of the same tuning, though.
Let's play a song. We've never done this on the. Well, it's been a while since we've done this. All right, you play something and then I'll join in.
No, other way around.
Okay. Careful. It's not like the most inspired song we've ever come up with.
not,
but,
it's not.
That was enough time to go pee.
The one time that we did that was better was when we picked up like a acoustic at a guitar store or something. Remember
Oh,
it?
not on the show. You're
Not
saying.
on the show. We did that.
You know what I miss? We used to do more is go to guitar stores together and just kill an hour and just walk around and go to Carter's, go to Guitar
Yeah.
Center, do something. Like we used to do that.
yeah.
Let's do it.
We should do
the
that.
times have changed.
We should do that.
I know you still go a lot.
I
Because
took 2 weeks off of work, and then I went to Florida for not 2 weeks. So I was
Were you
still,
working last week?
No.
Oh.
Are you going back on Monday?
Oh, but you took 2
No,
weeks
I'm
off.
going back next Wednesday.
Wait,
I
Florida
still have
was-
like, yeah.
Oh, you got a lot of time.
Is that just like if you don't use
I
it,
took
you
2
lose
weeks
it?
off for a 4-day trip to Florida.
That's amazing. You just had a bunch accrued.
My company doesn't accrue. It's like responsible time off.
Just go and do your job when you get back.
There you go.
Unlimited time off,
Unlimited time off.
but only when we want you to do.
It's theoretically it's better for, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because people don't end up taking it.
People don't take
It's
it.
one of those things where it's like all the really smart people say something smart, and so you start to believe it. Right? We
Yeah.
should give everyone unlimited time off.
Right. Well,
And then it comes up in the review where it's like, you've been taking, your
yeah.
performance is really
thankfully
feels like you haven't been available. It's like, well, you said unlimited time off.
Thankfully, yeah. Well, that's why the company calls it.
Responsible.
It's called responsible time off. It's
Responsible
not called
time off.
unlimited PTO.
Responsible
They're going
time
to point
off.
out that
It's
word.
responsible
Yeah.
time off.
Yeah.
That's when I
You
had to
can't
sit,
take every Friday off.
right. That's like when
Irresponsible.
That's irresponsible.
I was at a company one time where we hired this this employment law person, which if you want to meet lawyers that maybe provide no value for companies, but there's so much to do, like it's employment law people. I get that but it's really just all about you can get sued for everything and anything. Here's all of the jargon we need to put in place. You need to have everyone sign this. You need to do this. You need to pay me a lot of money to do this and 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 this. And that way, if anything happens, we can point to this like obscure part of the manual. And this is the type of stuff that would come up. We actually think all companies should instead of saying please don't discuss your work or details about your work or details about the company on social media. You shouldn't have a negative social media policy that restricts social media usage. You instead should encourage your employees to participate in social media like this in a responsible way. Right. And you put all this language around it where it's like, we want you to be on social media. We want you to reflect the values. And then this is where it
But
comes
we want
in,
you to be on brand.
where it's like, yes, where it's like, we actually want you to represent the values, our values in your social media. And if you don't, this could actually be where there's like a value mismatch and you may not be. And it's just like terrible. It's just, it's kind of like the same as being like, we require you to post on social media only things that we like. You know what I mean? Like it's a weird, but anyway, you pay those people a lot of money because they say, well, hey, I'm representing a company right now and they're losing everything because
It's amazing how many ways corporate America has learned to patronize its own employees and treat them like children. And we all just sort of do
we
it.
go for it. We go for it. We go
We
with
all just
it.
sort of deal with it because what else are we going to do?
What else are you going to do?
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So, did you have something about the Helix? Were we going to do is this the part of the podcast where we try to have something where we can
We could talk about
do a clip?
We could talk about Helix. So, all the Metal Junkie stuff we've been doing.
Is this a pro Helix thing you're about to say?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do this so that I can. Okay. John, in defense of the Helix.
I know it's a rare occurrence. I think
it's a rare occurrence.
that I come in defense of
Hang
the
on,
Helix.
it's the Helix calling. Hello?
Phone number 888-531-52.
What is this, a robocall?
Our underwriting
There's a speakerphone button.
Our second caller to the podcast. John, I hear you have something positive to say about the Helix. We've been accused of being Helix haters at times, which we aren't.
Right.
We're appreciators of all things good tone.
Sure. I think that recognizing that something is not your favorite doesn't mean that you hate it. The Helix is not my favorite.
Yeah.
But
I
John,
wouldn't choose it.
John, shouldn't I buy something and then go online and bash everything else to satisfy my confirmation bias that I made the right choice? Shouldn't I do that? Won't that ultimately lead to my happiness and a
Gosh.
better society?
Man, can you imagine how terrible it would be if everyone did that? So anyway, I've been making all these Metal Junkie patches.
Yes.
And so I've learned how to. Sooze helped me with the first couple Helix tone matches. And so I learned how to do it myself.
Yeah.
And man, I gotta say, now, granted, here's the caveat here.
Yeah.
The Helix out of the box, and I would actually say the same thing about Tonex. I was playing like standard Tonex profiles that just are on there. A lot of them, man, I do not like, right? And a lot of the Helix stuff, you just pull up the Helix like amp and cab block. It's not my favorite. It's not for me. But with the IR and then with the tone matching, man, you can get it to sound really, really good.
Yeah.
And I've been actually very impressed with, you know, so then by doing that, then I started looking into all of the effects and all of the, you know, and I really was like, you know, everyone's like, of course, like, no, you finally see it. But it's like, I was actually able to like switch back and forth between the Quad Cortex and the Helix and be like, yeah, like these sound pretty much the same.
Yeah.
You know, I was actually, I don't know, I was pretty proud.
Yeah, look, I mean,
that I was able to do that.
There's a bunch of people probably in the comments who are in the middle of writing something. Yeah, I've been playing the Helix for this long with stock cabs, and it's always sounded great for you. Congratulations. Why are you watching videos on the Helix? You sound very happy with what you have. We talk about what works for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And tone matching is something that for us has really been hugely beneficial on the Helix. And I think it's beneficial on a lot of modelers because it just adds all the variation in the world.
Right.
And a matchless DC30 is awesome. But what else is really cool is, you know, maybe the Bad Cat amp that's like that, and also the Hot Cat, and also the Phoenix, where it has different, you know, it's EL34 instead of 84. Like all the variation is also awesome. Right. You know, the 3015, which is the 15-watt version that is supposed to be a 12AX7 channel that I think sounds kind of different. And then in the 30-watt mode, you can put it back up to 30 watts, but then it still kind of feels like a little bit of a different thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it's like, yeah, and modelers maybe they give you one that's awesome, and if you're happy with it out of the box, great. But tone matching is really really stellar, and it works.
I called you because I was like, hey, this amp that I just profiled was I think it was the Angle Iron Ball.
Yeah,
I think it was that one.
Yeah,
and I was like, what? How do you go about finding an appropriate?
Yeah. Yeah, how do we get the right model, or what's close enough
what
to this?
Model do I even choose? And there's you know, there's the whole list and the explanation of, but you know, and you were like, well, sometimes it's, you know, it's counterintuitive. You have to choose a different kind of amp, you know, or like there was one. It was like, you know, it was a clean. I think it was that one. It's like the clean channel is one model, and then the overdrive channel is like a completely different model.
Yeah,
because they just don't have.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the Rev G20 also, and which is a killer amp. But like, yeah, that's what it was, because the Helix only has the Rev. They have a Rev generator, dirty channel, overdrive channel, but not a clean channel. So I was like,
yeah.
How do I replicate
something clean?
I need something clean,
right?
And so then you start looking up, okay, what tubes does it have?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like you can get pretty close. They've done a really good job of giving you something from pretty much every.
And it feels like the
far.
tone matching thing, as it works on as like we do it on Helix, or kind of as it works on the Axe Effects, is you if you take a sound and then you take that model and you sort of set it, you can pretty much get them to sound usually identical. Sometimes there can be a little bit of difference, like maybe you hear like, oh, the low end still is a little more like strong here, or there'd be like minute differences, but you can get them sounding. Then once you start turning the knobs, the model really is coming into play. Like, well, I couldn't, you know, well, this model has way more gain than the amp I matched it to. So as I turn it up, you're getting the sounds I couldn't get. Or like this has controls the amp didn't have, you know, or this doesn't have controls the amp had.
Yeah.
And so like the more you change it, maybe the more you get away or something. But the trick is you're trying to do a match that allows people to also make some adjustments and sort of be that thing.
I think
in a
that's
way.
That's like a different topic altogether. I think every single one of these digital platforms basically provides you stuff that amp probably doesn't have.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And that's fine, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like if you're going through and messing with the EQ a bunch on certainly anything that I make, like you probably shouldn't unless you really need to, you know?
Yeah,
because
right.
you're immediately going away from what the amp sounded like.
Sure.
You know? Even Either a little bit or a lot.
But maybe you want
depending
that.
And if it sounds good, then it's good and it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know? But
And everything's good in a context.
yeah. So anyway, I'm liking the Helix more and more.
Wow, look at that.
Who knew?
John,
My favorite
too.
story from that type of thing was when, remember we did the gain star?
Yeah.
And I was toe matching it, and I got the channel 1 to sound good with the matchless, and I had you come in because I was like struggling on channel 2. I was like,
Yeah.
those two channels are so different.
Yeah.
And you're like, try an orange amp, and I was like, okay, like an orange amp, you know, like
Yeah.
it's like this is like
Yeah.
a Mark Sampson. This is like,
Yeah.
you know, okay,
Yeah.
And as soon as I put it on and played it, I was like, dang,
Yeah.
like,
It sounds
and it was
really
like there
close.
was something in your ear that was like,
Yeah.
oh, the squishiness,
I just
or
knew,
like
yeah,
the,
yeah.
you know,
It's the gain because that's the hardest
Yeah.
thing to match. The thing that you cannot match with an IR is the gain structure.
Yeah, right,
That's
right.
what the model's doing.
It's got to
That's
like
what the
kind of
model's
yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to take like the a Mesa Boogie Mark 7 and sort of match it to a Vox.
No.
It's just not really going to come out.
won't.
Especially
It
if
is-
you change anything
yeah,
on the gain.
it
or
still will
anything.
sound different. Yeah, it will sound a lot
Yeah,
different.
the gain just won't do it.
And in that case, like you're right, Suze, like that gain Star 15 amp, it is a Mark Sampson made amp, and he made Matchless and Bad Cat. He started Matchless, started Bad Cat, and then now he does Star. I don't know if he still does it, but and Channel 1 is very much the sort of Matchless, Bad Cat, Sampson sound. But Channel 2 is like a departure purposefully.
Yeah.
Like it's the gain Star, it's a more gain. And I just heard it sounds like a very mid-rangey singing lead type thing, and it made me think of an orange amp, like an amp that sounds like how an orange can sound, you know. And so it worked. It was cool. I figured it was similar amount of gain, and then boom, it works. But yeah, you wouldn't normally say that. The orange sound really nails the Matchless tone.
Yeah.
Right? You wouldn't normally do that.
Totally.
And that's because we're also saying a very broad thing of like orange amps sound one way, Matchless amps sound another way.
Right.
That's also a hugely broad statement. It's, there's sort of a archetype of the Matchless sound that we think of.
Yeah.
But they have amps that get away from that. The Independence is a high gain amp, has just a second channel that's very crunchy and a third channel that's like lead.
Yeah.
And
to your point, like the Helix only gives you one Matchless model.
Right.
So if that's what
Yeah.
you want,
Yeah.
then great. But if you don't,
Get
you
channel
gotta
1
go
and
to
2.
other.
Yeah,
you gotta go to
you just
something
get the 1 and
else.
2
It's
channel.
just a DC-30.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play more metal riffs on your Helix.
metal on the
products.
Helix.
Yeah, in defense of the Helix.
In defense of the
Oh,
Helix.
that's
Yeah.
really good.
All right, do we have any other topics here that we were going to
I don't know. They better be really. If we do, it better be really good. 'Cause
Right
I'm
before
hungry.
lunch?
Yeah, let's
'Cause
get
I'm
lunch.
hungry.
Yeah.
Shall we get lunch?
Where
Yeah.
are we going? Or was it a game time decision? Oh, the face says it all.
We really only go to one place.
Is there any other restaurant than El Sombrero?
Remember that one day we made a list of places we like to have lunch? It didn't really come in. You called it.
I
You
said
can write it down. But
We
we're
can
not
write it
gonna
down.
use
But we
it.
won't, yeah, we won't actually
it.
use it.
Well, this has been episode 40.
That was a good one.
I've been HW.
Yeah, I've been Suze,
We got
yeah.
a clip out of that, you know? What are we doing later? We doing another one of these later?
I don't know. We're gonna work on some metal junkie stuff, I think.
Oh, you
but-
got stuff.
More
to-
packs coming out.
More packs. More packs are coming
Go
out.
get 'em.
More packs.
Go get 'em.
Three more. Three more packs coming out.
3 more packs. 3 more packs. I think one is ready right now.
Mm.
Is one all the way done right now?
Yes, one is all the way done.
It's just waiting on me. Okay, we'll talk about how we
The
release
t-
it. I think
the-
it's just waiting on me to do
The
that.
other two are imminently ready.
This episode was sponsored by Metal Junkies.
Yeah.
Indirectly.
All right, so I got a push-up board, by the way. I brought this up in the beginning. We'll send off with this, and I plan maybe I'll just start taking.
What is a push-up board?
So it's a board
good
with
question.
a bunch of holes and a handle, 2 handles, and so you can put them in this fashion or wider in this fashion or in this fashion. So you position your hands differently, just like you could on the floor.
Sure.
But a lot of people may have found that like it's nicer to have bars when you do push-ups.
Yeah.
Which is why you'll see like at a park sometimes you'll see those like workout bar
Can't
things.
you just use your free weights?
Yeah. But then I'd have to like look at the push-up board and go, okay, what position do they put him in? Because it's also got all these positions. You know, it's
Oh,
like do
like
this,
locks into
do
place.
this. Yeah, it locks
I
into
see.
place. Yeah,
For certain muscles.
yeah.
or
It's like
whatever.
do it here for this, do it here, and you could, but I have enough to remember. You know,
one less thing.
I try not to remember things.
So I'm gonna try. So I'll try. What maybe we'll.
Success. You're doing it.
What?
Huh?
That'll be my thing. Instead of lifting weights next time, I won't say, hey guys, can you just continue? I have to go to the bathroom. I'll say, guys, can you hang on? I gotta knock out 20 push-ups
Right.
on position 4.
Are we about to have a push-up battle?
Can you imagine?
We should do push-ups to a metronome to get the timing right.
Oh my
You
gosh.
can't slow down.
It'd have to be Revelation Song, or I don't think I could keep up.
How do you know a drummer is knocking at your door?
When it's in time.
When the knocking speeds up.
There you go. There you go. How do you know a singer's on the phone?
I don't know how.
When she lags behind the click.
That was ad-libbed.
Yeah.
In the moment.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's almost universally true, I've found.
But
all right, episode 40 of NHW.
I've been Sooze.
I'm still John too.
Mm-hmm.